Humanator.
I'm Buster.
And this week in Toku, we're going to be discussing Blazar's dub, tons and tons of merch for every fucking thing, and the most predictable ending to the most boring show of all time. But before that, Buster, how you doing?
Okay, today's been kind of busy, not gonna lie. I had a doctor's appointment at the beginning of the day, and then I went to Chicago downtown to meet up with a friend who just got stranded there for reasons I don't want to get into, but it was a fun time. So yeah. And
what was the prognosis?
What prognosis? It was it's like a thing for hair.
Do you have lice?
Not lice. We'll talk about off mic, but I don't know.
As long as you're not dying.
I'm not dying. There's a possible risk of hair loss, but it's not that major.
Well, let me tell you something. I have a definite risk of hair loss.
Yeah. How are you doing, Mr. Humanator?
I'm pretty good. There's been some IRL stupidity that I'd rather not get into on any recording, other than to say it is making things a lot more difficult than usual. But I'm still getting through it. I've been generally in a better mood since Thursday, because I was really off my gym schedule for a while, and then I just kind of shoved everything to the side and made the gym my top priority going forward. And I've gone to the gym almost every day since, and let me tell you, even if you don't have a huge weight loss goal or anything like that, going to the gym just makes you feel better about everything for the rest of the day. I was borderline hitting a depression moment on Wednesday, and then Thursday I made the time to go to the gym in the evening, and holy shit, have I been feeling better since.
Yeah, I've been going to the gym when I get in a writer's block, because it just makes me don't overthink, just write,
Mm-hmm. Don't think, just do. It does. Yeah. Things don't have to be perfect; they just have to be.
Yeah. Speaking of things,
and the form police get in your comment sections, and they go, "You aren't bending your knees just right when you squatted there." It's how about I squat on your ass?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Anyways, a great place to squat is Modular Media. We got tons of room in here, so come on in. Give us some comments, subscribe, ring the bell in order to enable notifications, support all of the Modular Media content. There's plenty of room in all these shows. They're all a fucking hour long, so you can find a nice little place to slot yourself in, set up a cot, and enjoy it. There's not just TWIT. There's the new show we just started, myself and Snowcone, called Saturday Morning Panels, where we're talking about all things Transformers and G.I. Joe once a month. There is the No Prize podcast, where myself and Boingo talk about all things comics once a week, actually. There's the Modular Component Show, where we fuck around and find out, featuring guests. And there is Analytical Fanboys. Excuse me, my voice caught for a second there. But Analytical Fanboys is the Media Club show, where we talk about one specific thing that one of the members of the channel has selected every month. And I still have to play Doom. I still have to pick out what my selection for July is going to be.
Oh boy, we got a lot of things to do in these last few days.
I'm good at life, everybody. I'm good at my job. I'm good at things. Please hire me. Please give me money on Patreon. Also, follow Modular Media on social media. We got a Twitter. It's at the Modular Media. We got a Reddit, but that's still locked up, I think. So don't go there. And we got a Tumblr. It's at Modular Media. How about that? You know what else we got? We got news. We got tons of news. Let's get on to the news. Our top story this week in Godzilla Tat. Anything stand out to you over these free news links, Buster?
I do not care.
Awesome. Neither do I. What I do care about, though, is Toho has created 2 new social media accounts. One specifically for future Godzilla content, and one that's just a general Toho Toho social media page. And we've already gotten a few posts, just kind of general, hey, look at this, look at this general history of Godzilla thing. But considering the Godzilla account is using the logo for that new movie they teased was going to be coming out in November, it's probably where we're going to start getting news for this movie from, at least here in the West. So I would say go follow both these accounts if you don't already, and you use Twitter. So that's definitely a thing.
I'm just like on edge of like when we're actually going to see some trailers for this movie, or even more posters. Just give me stuff.
What if they just do that thing Studio Ghibli's doing, where they're like, for Miyazaki's last film, we're not showing you anything until it's done and in theaters.
Does Godzilla have that power?
Probably not, but that would be insane.
Yeah.
What else is insane is the fact that I've forgotten to talk about this for like a month and a half. SH Figuarts Absolute Diavolo is coming, and we got the full solicitations and pre-orders a few days ago. They announced this like back in friggin' March, and I've just consistently forgot to put it in the news links because it looks exactly like Absolute Tartarus except for the bull horns. So I keep looking at it and going like, yeah, we talked about that guy. We know who this is. We've talked about this figure. No, Absolute Diavolo is a different guy, and they're making a figure of him because he was in Ultraman Regulos, and it looks good. It looks like a Figuarts of a big bulky boy, and he comes with a Absolute Heart accessory, which apparently is like something for Tartarus. So if you already have Tartarus, you might want to get this guy, especially to build out that team, and hopefully eventually they finish this team. But it doesn't super interest me because the Absolutians seemed really cool when they first started showing up, and now they're just more guys. They're just more guys that the Ultras fight.
They're cool, like, in design, but not really cool in character, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Also, this is a web exclusive that's going to be releasing in November of this year, and it's going to run you about $65 USD. So,
good luck, mate.
Yeah, let's talk about some exciting Ultraman news, because we've got some new casting announcements this week. Quite a few, actually, because first up, for the Japanese cast, Tomokazu Seki is going to be making a guest appearance in episode 3. Should I recognize this man?
He's done, like, bit parts in, like, bigger shonen anime. Like, he was a panda in Jujutsu Kaisen. Like, he was Poochie in, like, Poochie, the final villain in JoJo Part 6. So that's a good, I like that character. Also, you know, he's still, like, more of, like, what you need, like, he's always there, but, like, it's not, like, the big to us, you know?
Okay. He seems like a guy. Hopefully he does a good job. Hopefully his character is cool and interesting. But what is definitely cool and interesting is it has now officially been confirmed that there's going to be a simuldub of Ultraman Blazar, and the person voicing the lead role is Johnny Young Bosch.
Okay, let's back up a bit, because like they had a teaser of that the day before they announced it, and we heard his catchphrase like "I'll go" or something like that.
And my stupid ass thought it was Zeno Robinson.
Again, yeah, because this guy had no idea of who's voicing who, and everyone on Twitter was like, Young Bosch, is he gonna complete the trio? Because we know Johnny Young Bosch did a Power Rangers, like, you know, he's Power Rangers Adam from Power Rangers. But the thing is, he also was a Kamen Rider in the Kamen Rider Dragon Knight Wii game dub.
Was he?
Yeah, he was Dragon Knight.
I've never heard that before, but that's awesome.
Yeah, that had a lot of, like, voice actors. Like, I think Steve Bloom was there? I forgot, but, like, that had, like, a lot of, like, voice... I think it had a more stacked cast than the actual show, if I'm being frank. But, Oh, give me a second.
Sure.
Alright, back. But yeah, they did a dub version of the initial teaser trailer, and yeah, it's the initial teaser trailer with English voices. Now, I'll be honest, when I first heard that, like, Young Bosch was gonna do Gento specifically, I'm like, is he fit for it? But now the more I think about it, it's like, okay, he's getting older, he fits an older protagonist, you know?
Yeah, and like, he generally sounds, pretty good. I'm very interested in this. If this is at least half as good as the Zet dub has been, which I'm not caught up on it at all. I'm on like episode 4 right now. But if it's half as good as the Zet dub, it might be worth watching this in English.
Yeah, I'll definitely watch both the because it's simuldub. I'll definitely try to watch both the sub and dub at the very least.
Yeah, because like I like the Japanese cast as well.
Yeah, and I do want to hear like the quote unquote authentic, especially for a live action show. I want to hear.
Mhm. But also, Madeline Doro has been confirmed just today as the voice of Emi Abe.
And they
I
kind of look similar hairstyles, and like from what like I know about her, she's an up and coming. So that's pretty cool.
Okay, yeah, I've not heard of this I'm assuming actress.
Yeah, again, they're up and
She
coming.
her
They're
pronouns.
she actually.
Oh, okay. I've not heard of them before, but hopefully they do a good job.
Yeah, and I like they kind of like have a similar hairstyle to the actress they'll be voicing, so that's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it looks good on them. So I guess thumbs up from me when you don't even need a thumbs up from me. I don't know where I'm going with this. Also, I should mention real quick, there is a rumor going out around right now for the casting of Gento's wife and child. It's probably going to get confirmed within the next couple weeks or so, but I didn't feel like it was substantiated enough to say who it is right now on the show. So we'll talk about whoever that is whenever they either pop up on the show or the official Ultraman Twitter says who it is.
Yeah.
Anyways, there's also a little bit of Blazar merch news because somebody found a Japanese catalog this week. There's going to be a bunch of children's clothing and like, are those fucking pot handlers? And the Gashapon Blazar Stone or Blazar Stone. I'm having a hard time adjusting to Blazar, I gotta admit. But the Gashapon line of gimmick toys, we got a little sneak peek at those, and they don't look too bad compared to the DXs.
Yeah, you get this is where like all of the Showa and Heisei guys are going because I think the main line is new gen. While these because I see Ultra 7, I think Neos is there. I think a Gaia and a Ghoul are there. I'm like kind of like
really hard to tell the Showa Ultras apart unless you're like Leo or someone.
7 has a pretty distinct silhouette, I think.
That's true. It's like 7, Leo, and Taros are the really distinct ones.
Yeah.
But
Kamen
anyway,
Rider?
let's move on to Kamen Rider news. First up, fucking Team Rider, I swear to Christ. They announced that Mega House is going to be making an Ultimate Article statue of Kamen Rider V3, which is a big prestige 17 or 15-inch inches tall. I am just stumbling all over my words today. Statue of V3 in his signature pose with swappable arms for just kind of like a standing there. There's also going to be a swappable nameplate, and no actual release information. Just, hey, a company is making a thing. No information on where we can get it, and nothing really concrete, which is, just oh so helpful. You're just the fucking best, Team Rider. Way to sell us a toy or a fucking prestige statue of a character that Americans shouldn't even know about unless they live in Hawaii. But most Americans shouldn't even know about this character because aside from was it a dub that aired in Hawaii way back in the day, or was it just a straight up re-airing?
Both.
Okay, well, unless you lived in Hawaii in the fucking 70s, you should have no way to know about V3 officially. So the fact that they're advertising this thing is really bizarre. And I would only accept it if they called it by its proper American name, which of course is Masked Rider Warrior Commander.
This guy. Yeah, I wish I like V3's design, but I don't know where to get this, so thanks a lot.
Yeah, thanks for nothing, fuckers. Anyways, let's move on to a little bit of SH MonsterArts news. Tamashii Nations put up a teaser earlier in the week saying that a new brand is coming to the SH MonsterArts line. Now, this teaser is basically the logo on a background image of some Egyptian hieroglyphics. I have seen two schools of thoughts on this. Some people think like, oh, Kuga uses hieroglyphics. Maybe we're getting MonsterArts of the Kuga Kaijins. But the more likely thing is that it's probably going to be MonsterArts of Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Monsters characters. So
why are we talking about this here?
because I've seen enough people saying it might be Kuga that I figured we should talk about it here just to like debunk that. Don't get
Nah,
your
it's
hopes
Yu-Gi.
up,
It's
folks.
Yu-Gi-Oh. It's Yu-Gi-Oh. And I want it to
Yeah.
be Yu-Gi-Oh because there's so many cool monsters I would love to own figures of. So please make it be Yu-Gi-Oh.
I personally don't care for Yu-Gi-Oh at all, but like I'm not gonna besmirch those people getting toys. So hopefully these turn out well. Hopefully they're good toys. But this did make me think. God damn, I want more Kaijins and SH Figuarts.
Speaking of Kaijins.
Yeah, hey, good transition there, buddy. We have our first official look at the Hot Toys Kamen Rider Black Sun Figuarts. They put up a nice teaser image of their Kamen Rider Black Sun and Kamen Rider Black Sun Shadow Moon, and they look like fucking Hot Toys. They look like perfect replicas of those suits. There's no seams whatsoever. Looks like they got light up belts and eyes, and yeah, they're pretty tasty looking, but they're also probably going to cost a pretty penny.
Yeah, I kind of wish this image came out before the show so I could use this as the thumbnail. this is a really good thumbnail image.
It looks great. Like if I had the money, because I do really like the Black Sun designs, I would be tempted to get these. But like as is, I haven't even gone out of my way to get the Figuarts yet, man. So
Yeah, I'd love to get the figure arts of those designs though.
oh yeah, I was watching The Amazing's review of Shadow Moon the other day, and it looks great. But let's get into some Shin Kamen Rider news. First of all, screenings for the movie have been announced for Southeast Asia. So if you live in Indonesia, Malaysia, or the Philippines, you will have some screenings coming up at the end of the month and in July, where you can finally see the movie. Indonesia is going to get to see it on the 28th, and Malaysia and the Philippines are going to get to see it on July 6th. So, folks, on the off chance we have any listeners from those countries, check your local theater listings daily. Get your tickets. You're going to want to see this movie. It is my and Buster's favorite movie of the year so far. It is damn good. And if you're a Kamen Rider fan at all, I think you'll enjoy it.
Yeah. And hopefully you're not one of those lazy ones who or not lazy ones, like shitty ones who just be like, oh, but it had 2%. Oh, whatever.
Yeah, whatever. Getting into a bit of merch news. So we don't always cover SHF Upgrade, but when they do something particularly cool or interesting that I'm like, yeah, that should have been available with the initial release, or like Bandai should have done that themselves, I like to highlight it. So here's one of those things. They have announced that they are going to be doing add-on hands for the SH Figuarts Shin Kamen Rider riders to give them thumbs up hands. That's awesome. I would definitely buy these if I had the Shin Kamen Rider Figuarts. They look pretty much like the ones that come, the regular hands that come with the base figures. Should have been there with the base figures, and is definitely going to make for a great display if you have those.
Yeah, I'm actually looking at the prices. Now you got me looking at the prices for those figure arts because I'm like, oh.
Yeah, I will say, like, it is kind of pricey, $15 for two tiny plastic hands, but like, Figuarts are already pretty pricey, so I don't think this is terrible.
Speaking of pricey and pricey shit from Bandai.
Yeah, P Bandai has announced that they are going to be releasing the DX Shinobi Raise Buckle from Kamen Rider Tycoon meets Kamen Rider Shinobi, which came out this week, but it hasn't been subbed yet, so we're not going to be talking about it today. We'll talk about it next week, assuming it gets subbed by then. And it's exactly what you would think it is. It is a repaint of the Ninja Buckle, but in purple, and it has some sounds specific to the special packed into it. So if you really enjoyed the special, assuming you've seen it by now, or you just are a Raised Buckle completist, or you really like the look of this thing, you'll want to hop on it, but I haven't looked at the exact price yet, but I'm willing to bet it's probably pretty pricey.
Yeah, and apparently this is a new, like, subline for Premium Bandai of, like, Premium DX. That's concerning, man. That's kind of concerning because it's like we've already been
Premium
leaning.
DX, haven't we been doing that for like 4 or 5 years now?
Yeah, I guess they just decided let's give it an official brand, and that kind of worries me for Gotchard.
Let's throw a trademark. Oh, a trademark. Let's throw a trademark on this shit.
Right back.
Trademark. That's what you do when you go to McDonald's and you get the Big Mac and your buddy gets the double quarter pounder and you end up not liking the Big Mac, but he loves the Big Mac, so he'll trade you his quarter pounder for it. That's what a trademark is.
Yeah, speaking of food.
Hey, Kamen Rider The Diner announced that they're getting a bunch of Ninja Rider themed drinks. There's one for Tycoon in his Shinobi form. There's one for Shinobi himself. There's one for Zekros, which actually looks really cool. I love the little. I'm assuming those are grapes to represent the eyes.
Yeah.
There's one for Fuma and one for Kenzan, and Kenzan's comes with like a little side dish.
Oh, that's disaster. Oh.
Fuck you, Disaster. You get a side dish.
No, because it's like partner, and it's like yeah, whatever. It's a whole thing.
Yeah,
you gotta want get on Saber.
They look tasty. Man, I wish I could go to Kamen Rider The Diner.
Yeah.
Anyways, we now have movie posters and titles for the Kamen Rider Geats and King-Ohger summer movies. Kamen Rider Geats' movie is going to be called Four Aces and the Black Fox, and King-Ohger's movie is going to be called Adventure Heaven. And as we've talked about previously, the plots are basically going to be Geats is an alternate world with a secret fucker that he's got to fight, and a bunch of returning side characters. And King-Ohger's movie is potentially going to be about Gira trying to become a real king somehow.
Yeah, and apparently it features the leaked gold power-up that has been rumored since the beginning of King-Ohger, and that we had. So, will it debut here? Will it? I don't know.
Are they gonna like remember that period where they used to do that with Kamen Rider, where like every year the initial upgrade form would debut in the crossover movie?
Yeah, they might do that here. But like they'll probably still do it like in the show because
because they did that with Kamen Rider. It would
Yeah.
get an origin in the movie, and then it would get an entirely separate origin in the show. Like this is fucking Power Rangers season 3.
Yeah.
And I will say, like, these posters, they're not the best in the world, but I do really like the King-Ohger one for like the characterful way it shows off each of the King-Ohgers with how they're falling through this vortex. Like Gira's trying to fly up and reach it. Oh god, what's his name? Blue Ranger. He's just chilling.
Tombo. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like again, King-Ohger is really good at characterization, and even it just goes to these posters too, you know?
Yeah, but my absolute favorite has to be Dabowski just like falling backwards and flailing. Like you can't do anything. That's hilarious.
Also Rita standing. Standing. Always gotta love that.
We stan a stander. And another thing we stan is Outsiders?
Yes.
Because the trailer for episode 3 dropped this week. We're probably getting episode 3 very soon, and it looks fucking bonkers. Because first of all, you have Bronze Drive, the return of Bano, and they did get the voice actor back. But then we still have stuff concerning the Arc Riders and what's her face from X-Aid?
Nico.
Yeah, but George is also going to be in this episode, and as we saw previously via image links, what's his face from
Kamen Rider Zane?
Yeah, but Blade is coming. Tachibana is coming back, and he's getting a new rider form that uses a Progrise key and a Decade card.
And he apparently also has X-Aid powers based on this trailer.
That is the most insane fanfic bullshit thing, and I love it.
Yeah,
and Outsiders. I really like the suit too. I hope this gets a Figuarts.
Yeah, I hope 100%. Like honestly, outside of episode 1 being a whole bunch of, I guess, like Outsiders has been really fun for what it is. You know?
Yeah, it feels like what you want from this kind of thing. It is literally just writing crazy fanfic bullshit and going like, all right, who can we get back for a couple days?
Yeah. Speaking of the past.
Hey, moving into Sentai news, Shogoken Modeling Project has announced their next release, which is going to be a alternative Destiny version of the live Robo, which essentially amounts to like a modern reimagining of it. It's a lot more slimmed down. The modes look a lot more like sleek and aerodynamic, and it's got like a much more modern, slightly complicated anime Robo aesthetic to it.
Okay, here's the thing. I love Live Robo, and I'm very excited to see how this turns out. So, because Live Man has some of my favorite Showa era Sentai aesthetics.
Yeah. I love how the jet just looks like a fucking lawn dart now.
Yeah, I'm very excited to see how this all turns out.
Yeah, it's interesting. Doesn't super excite me, but I'm glad it does for you, bud.
I might finally get around to Live Man instead of just looking at from afar.
Yeah, I've heard Live Man is one of the really good Showa Sentai, so maybe you should check that out. But moving on to Hurricane Your Tat. It's coming. There's going to be like character standees. There's going to be posters. There's going to be fans. There's going to be a flag. Okay, whatever.
Okay, no Green Ranger on this, like in any of this Tat. Ah, that sucks.
You think maybe he's not in the movie?
He'd probably make a cameo in the movie, but like he's probably not gonna be a big player, which sucks because he's the best character.
Oh well, but something that is really cool is we have gotten a big news rollout for Aba Ranger 20th anniversary film, which is called Bakuryu Sentai Aba Ranger Unforgivable Abare, including the trailer and the theatrical release date, which is going to be September of this year, and then it is going to get a home release, and that's probably when we'll get it subbed, in March of next year, and it actually looks really good.
Oh, Aba Ranger, as I said previously on the show, it's become one of my new favorite Sentais. So this movie has incredibly excited, and apparently, like, someone made an entire Twitter thread about it. This is a commentary. This entire movie is a commentary of how, like, the ratings board, like, parental figures treated Aba Ranger as this unforgivable, like, oh, this is a sin against humanity and some shit. So this
isn't a proper Super Sentai.
Yeah, like they're too violent and stuff like that. So I'm very excited to see this movie, and it has a lot of promise. And it just looks really good, and we get to see all the boys back. And
like, as somebody who hasn't seen Aba Ranger, I think this looks really fun, and like the fact that they're leaning into like that whole at the time public perception of it thing kind of reminds me of the Go Busters Animal Sentai movie, and also makes me wish a little bit that like we could get something like this for Kamen Rider Decade.
Man, so we get Decade versus Geo, which is just more like up your ass shit.
Yeah, I still haven't watched that, and I probably never will at this point. But something that is tempting my eyeballs a little bit is we have the full solicitation information for the Memorial Edition Dino Brace. It is going to be a big fancy thing. It's going to come with all the basic face plates. It's going to have voice phrases from all the characters from the show, including some of the side characters and the mecha. And it's going to have all the transformation noises. It's going to have 3 different pieces of background music, and it's going to cost $90. And it's releasing in February of next year. And if you don't go through a middleman service, it's probably going to cost you about double that. So
yeah, I mean $90 just base price is a good price for a simple like thing like this. So
yeah, it does look really good, and I am very tempted as a Dino Thunder kid, but like, man, Senchoku Seiho Gokai Red's about to come out, my dudes. I can't be pre-ordering this right now.
Yeah, that's fair.
But hey, something you could pre-order if you wanted to is some Bandai King-Ohger merch that got announced this week. There's some new shirts that look really plain and interesting, and there's a Molfon pendant.
Yeah, Molfon. They're really pushing for Molfon, and honestly, it's working.
Yeah.
Speaking of.
They announced in this week's episode of King-Ohger, there's a premium Molfon plush that Rita really wants, and they're actually making it. So you're going to be able to get that from the premium Bandai website, and hopefully you get it if you want it, just like Rita did.
Yeah.
All right, let's move into a little bit of Power Rangers news.
Oh God.
First of all, the Cosmic Fury Morpher has already been found by fans in Germany. And because of that, several people have been messing with it all weekend and have gotten a ton of information out of it. Specifically, I'm going to go through a few points here. It doesn't just interact with Cosmic Fury, it also interacts with MMPR. Weirdly enough, it doesn't have like MMPR specific sounds, but like it will react to MMPR in the same way it does to Cosmic Fury. Also, they found, and this is a massive spoiler for Cosmic Fury, so skip ahead, like 2 minutes. They found a sound for Fern. She's the Orange Ranger.
Yeah, we kind of already knew this based on some leaks, but yeah, it's happening.
It's officially confirmed now. And it does have the theme song in it. It's only like a small snippet, like the last 2 or 3 seconds, like we heard in that teaser, but it's cool that it has it in it, and there's a ton more sounds packed into this thing. Like I was saying, the electronics for this thing are extensive, and that's where all the money went. I get people being upset about the lack of paint, but also with how much this thing can do, I think the price is still justified.
Yeah, it's still gonna be like 20 American dollars, so yeah.
Mm-hmm. Now we have to move into some stupid bullshit because
God. Don't. Why did you put that guy's link?
Over the last couple of weeks, Simon Bennett, Becca Barnes, and Campbell Cooley have all issued statements saying that they are now looking for new work and are moving on from Power Rangers. And it is highly likely that all the other crew members and some of the cast members are doing that as well because, well, at the time, we have no information that suggests there's going to be a new season next year, and even if they had planned one, probably would be very hard to do considering there's a writer's strike going on right now, and it has long been rumored that there is a reboot in development, and some people have been collating all that information today and going like, well, this is what we know about the next iteration of the franchise. It's going to be a reboot. It's going to involve these people. None of that information is fucking confirmed yet, you fucking idiots. It's a rumor.
Yeah, we already know, like, one person is confirmed for, like, Entwistle's thing, but we don't know what exactly it is, so
it's like, highly likely all this could be true, but until it's confirmed, you need to put the fucking word rumor in your titles and your tweets.
Yeah, as for the entire thing of, oh, no Power Rangers in 2024, well, first off, a writer's strike, I better hope people are not gonna be making shows for next year while the strike is going on. And, like, let's say even if they are moving production away from New Zealand, if they want to move to California, then guess what? That's where the strike is in effect. And, like, I've seen people be like, oh, wait, is it New Zealand? From what I know, the show is written in America, and then they go filming and production in New Zealand.
Heck, even if they wanted to move it to Canada, like most American shows are shot these days. Most American shows these days are shot in either Vancouver, Canada, Atlanta, Georgia, or LA. And even if they wanted to move to Canada, they would still have issues doing that. And honestly, if they just kept doing the show as they have been doing it and moved it out of New Zealand, I would kind of be okay with that, because even though I enjoy the New Zealandisms, they've been shooting in New Zealand for almost 20 years now. It would be nice to get a little bit of change of scenery.
And even then, we've had a year hiatus before. I don't see why people saying, oh, like 1 year hiatus will kill the brand. Guys, 2010.
Power Rangers isn't a fucking powerhouse at the moment.
Yeah, so it's like, I don't get why it would kill the brand. Like, just make something good, man.
Heck, like, G.I. Joe took like a 4 or 5 year hiatus, and then it came back with a new toy line, and it has been the most successful thing Hasbro has done this decade.
Yeah. And, like, even, like, let's go back to Power Rangers. Like, the franchise was kind of, like, not doing as well as it could have been, like, towards the end of the Disney era. And then Samurai, as much as I hate that show, did blow up the sales.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't see why, like, oh, consistency. Like, we're even seeing this in other superhero media where people are just looking for, like, a good show rather than just, oh, the brand I know, you know?
Yeah, sometimes a brand hiatus can be a good thing. I remember a couple of years ago, before we got Zenkaiger and Dawn Brothers, I used to say every once in a while, if you really think Sentai's stale, maybe the best thing for it would be to take a few years off until the next big anniversary.
Yeah, and I'm like, I still think Toei should do more hiatuses because of how draconian the shooting schedules for those shows could be. So honestly, good for them for taking a hiatus.
Hopefully, whenever Power Rangers comes back, it'll be good and interesting. And even though there won't be a new season next year, you still have Cosmic Fury to look forward to. You're still going to have the comics every month. You're still going to have Lightning Collection every few months, presumably. We're going to have stuff there's going to be food on the table. You're going to get to eat. So don't worry.
And hopefully Shop Factory gets some more Sentai stuff here.
Yeah, so just chill the hell out, everybody, and can we please stop once a week having me wake up to my Twitter timeline being full of people going, "Oh no, the franchise is over again. These people are assholes for leaking information about it," and then the people who leaked it bitching about people bitching about them. It's getting really circular and stupid, and you all just sound like Marty children.
I thought you were gonna say Marty McFly.
No, I like Marty McFly. He's a nice guy.
Yeah, he's a very nice guy.
Yeah. You
Speaking
taught
of
me
nice
valuable
guys,
life lessons. Oh yeah, we got a little bit of information regarding Hasbro's presence at San Diego Comic-Con, which is coming up next month. I don't know about you, but that completely snuck up on me.
yeah, it snuck up on me too.
Yeah, I forget what day. Oh, it's going to be July 19th is the first day of the convention. That's a Wednesday, so it'll probably run till that Sunday. Currently, there are no confirmed exclusives for any brand. It is rumored that the Transformers Legacy Evolution Wardon 2-pack may be an exclusive, but we don't know that for sure yet. Or no, I'm sorry. This says that was the exclusive last year. I'm a little bit behind on Transformers news, embarrassingly enough. But the big thing here out of this article is they're going to be doing the same thing they did at SDCC last year, which is they're not offering the exclusives in person. They will have a limited supply of little cards with QR codes printed on them that will take you to a page on Hasbro Pulse where you can put in a pre-order for whatever exclusive it is to be shipped at a later date. Now, I know that might sound kind of concerning, but there wasn't a Power Rangers exclusive last year, unless I'm completely forgetting something Hasbro did. There was a G.I. Joe exclusive I was interested in, however, and people had plenty of opportunities to get it, because they would have like a huge stack of these at the beginning of the day. Everyone would get them, and they would float around online, and you would be able to get in and get them, and then they would have like a new stock or a new allotment every day. So if there is a Lightning Collection exclusive this year, which I've heard people saying potentially the Omega Rangers multi-pack could be, it's long been rumored that there's a Lightning Collection Master Morpher that's going to be an SDCC exclusive coming. That could be something. You'll probably have an easy opportunity to get it. Just keep an eye on your Twitter timeline during the convention and follow accounts like Lightning Fig PR. That's my toy rambling for the week. Buster, do you want to take us on the new releases?
Sure. Pink Tokusatsu Creation Jiraiya's Episode 7, The Future Disappears into the Sea. I will give this episode this. Very nice location they shot at.
Nice location. Legitimately well choreographed fight scene. I actually really like the big fight at the end of this episode.
Yeah, the fights in the show are pretty solid, like mostly. There's a couple, like, stinkers.
The early ones looked bad because they were mostly CGI, but this is almost entirely practical, and it looked great.
Yeah. I still don't care about the plot.
Yeah. They're trying to do a bunch of lore dumping on you of like, oh, this is Gisiri's old master, and apparently Gisiri's is actually a renegade, and he hacked his Henshin device, and he's doing this, that, and the other thing that goes against the rules, man. And they're having a big old fight, and I'm just like, okay, all right. That's some story structure there. Good job.
I will say, it wasn't the worst episode we talked about this week. We'll get to it soon. Anyway, time for some goated hero time, because both superhero time episodes were the GOAT. Kamen Rider Geats, Episode 4, Genesis 2, Tycoon
Episode
Awakens.
4? We're back at the beginning of the show?
Episode 40! Episode 40, I meant. Genesis 2, Tycoon Awakens. My brain is tired, but this episode was good.
This episode was rough, man.
Yeah, but it was good rough.
There's so many, like, this episode is like a perfect O. Henry, because it starts off with a lot of moments that remind you why you like these characters, and have like a bunch of mystery building towards future events moments, and you're like, yeah, okay, this show is building towards an awesome end, and it still is. But then the ending of this episode happens, and you're like, no.
Yeah, but it's a good oh no.
I was legitimately sad about, and I mean, we just assume you watched the episode, so spoilers. I was legitimately sad watching Sarah die. I wanted her to get her powers back, and for her and Keiwa to team up and have a cool fight scene together. And I guess that still is possible, considering the rules of this show, in that there are no rules. But like, that moment of her getting dragged down into like Jamato underworld and him trying to hold on to her. Oh, I felt that, man.
Yeah, and I know I do agree it's kind of shitty to do like a fridging, but I think it works here because
it's not a fridging, because it is actually towards a huge benefit of the overall story. It's not specifically to benefit Keiwa.
Okay, good to know. But I think it works here because Kikera, for the last few episodes he's appeared in, he's like Kikera as a Tycoon sponsor. He has always been motivated, like, this is a real Kamen Rider. What does a real Kamen Rider do? And in the Showa era, family members died.
Yeah, so, I love Boingo's interpretation of him, as he's just the Kamen Rider equivalent of a Snyder bro. No, your family's got to die for you to be a real superhero. You need that tragic motivation.
Yeah, and
it's like, dude, his parents already died.
Yeah, and it's like, man, I think that can lead to some great stuff, and I'm very excited for Tycoon to kick his froggy butt.
Also, like, if you didn't already hate Notch Sparrow, which I was just kind of like, he's whatever, he's a good like side shitter. Now that he's the big bad, which, sorry, I didn't notice that was him under a bunch of makeup and low lighting last week, folks. But now that we know he's probably going to be the big bad, seeing him like have this huge fuck you, like Green Goblin killing Gwen Stacy villain moment, I was like, okay, yeah, I'm invested in this guy, in that I fucking hate him, and I hope Keiwa obliterates his ass.
I already liked to hate Nudge Sparrow, but this is really emphasizing yeah. Also, who's the new guy? The guy who's handing out the cards to the sponsors?
They said his name this episode, but he's essentially just a new game master that they pulled in and to be Gazer, I think it is.
Yeah, or Gazer or
because I think the lady's going to be Glare, and then he's going to be Gazer, or possibly the other way around.
Or New Rider, we'll see.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
Also, I'm willing to bet those new cards mean Keikira and Baraba are going to get suits.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think the show would hit nearly as hard if Tycoon would beating up a CGI frog. It would still go hard, but not nearly as hard.
Mm-hmm. Also, that little teaser of Shogun.
Yeah,
oof, that's a good looking suit.
Also, no, I want to get into a theory about Geats that I've kind of already been sharing around. So Geats is all caked up in white. Tycoon's final form is all black. I think the final battle of this show is gonna have them fight each other, and
they have teased that a couple times.
Yeah, and I think that's just the perfect end, because I feel to me Tycoon is more about the morality of the situation, while Geats wants a perfect world. So and he's been testing Tycoon all throughout the series. So now it's okay, Tycoon, put all your tests to might against me. That would be a really cool ending to the show, honestly. And Takahashi's done it before, 0-1, so I could see it happening.
Hopefully. But otherwise, really good episode. All the hinting towards Surumi's ultimate destiny was really interesting. But yeah, it's good, and we stay Geatsin.
Yeah. And we still stay King-Ohgering at episode 16, the 10-year-old Supreme Judge.
Go off.
Loaded with the sauce. I love this episode so much.
You smell that? You smell that smell? I smell gas.
Yeah, this is gas. Like, the fight at the end was really cool. The choreography with, like, Rita act, we see, like, what their other eye is covered by their hair. Looks like, yeah. And the adorable moments they get, both with just their supporter and Himeno. Yeah, I love it so much. Just best character ever. Also, the teaser for the next few episodes are really good.
Legit, like getting more hints towards like the actual backstory. It feels like the show has like a proper plot again. Like not that it never felt like there was no plot, but like it had lapsed for a little while, and now we're like, ooh, there's a big mystery we're trying to figure out, and we're getting major hints towards it this week. And also like getting new context to Rita's motivations and why they do things. Like I'm still not fully on Team Rita is best King-Ohger. I still like him and a whole lot, but like there was a moment, I forget what exact moment it is, but there's like a moment somewhere in this episode where Rita's talking about their motivations and stuff and is doing something really cool and like the nature of justice and everything, and I legit was like, oh yeah.
Yeah. And it's good shit. And also their insert song plays before they transform, so Kino. Yeah, this is just a really cool episode, and I'm excited to see where the show goes. From like again, every Rita episode of the show is like a banger. I just love the show in general. I know it's like not the most technically, but it's so much imagination, so much well written characters. It's like, yeah. Good to like Sentai again, like 3 years in a row. I know Kira Major was good, but I wasn't watching it as it airs, and I think it's kind of overrated. Anyway, do you want to talk about the thing?
What thing?
Ultraman Regulus, episode 6. I do not care. This show sucks.
This fucking ending actually kind of pissed me off, because there's like 2 minutes of the fucking episode, and then they go into the ending theme, and then there's like a massive 5-minute long end credit scene that's just, here's how Regulus got to the point they were when we first saw them, because remember, this is a prequel, so here's some really belabored, stupid, obvious prequel stuff shoved right in there at the end for those of you who are going to ask. And I'm like, I wasn't going to ask. I didn't fucking care. You have completely wasted this character, and now I'm kind of pissed off that you gave this to me, because the whole show just feels like a waste of time.
Yeah, like none of the new stuff was interesting. All the lore stuff I do not care about. Some fights were kinda cool, but not nearly as Ultra Galaxy fight cool.
None of the fights were as cool as the fucking posing he does during the intro.
Yeah, like all the pose, like all you need to see is watch the intro of the show, because one, the song actually is pretty good, and two, the posing is way better than the actual fight.
The suit acting in the intro is phenomenal. That's my favorite part of every episode.
Yeah, like honestly, it's very simple but so cool, and it makes me think you're gonna watch a better show than we got.
It makes me feel like, oh, I'm gonna watch friggin' Bruce Lee Ultraman, and then I get I have betrayed the master. You betrayed the master. I betrayed the master. We must slap each other now. Oh, there's a big space fucker. I gotta slap him now. Oh, my friend got slapped. I am sad now. That's every episode of Regulus.
Yeah, and it always ends abruptly when I'm actually like kind of invested. Yeah, I think this is worse than Trigger. I'm gonna say it.
It's fucking boring and lame is what it is.
Yeah. Also, speaking of that post-credit scene, that just felt like the worst case of post-credit scene I've seen in anything. Like from anything. Just like Marvel, DC, anything. Just that was terrible.
It's incredible. Within the same month, Ryder gave me like the best Scrimblow moment I've ever seen in my life, and Ultraman gave me like one of the worst Scrimblow moments I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah. Talk about the things you bought.
Hey, I've actually been watching some more Kamen Rider 1971. I watched episodes 40 for 46. The Return of Hongo. It's pretty good.
Have you seen this man?
I have seen this man. He's a very pretty man. and he's a very sad man because he couldn't say hi to his buddies. He had to continue on to fight in Europe more, but not before giving Hayato some cool new bitches to hang out with. And then Dr. Death showed up. Love that he's called Dr. Death, but that's about all I love about him, because otherwise he's just a silly old man in a vampire outfit in a wheelchair. Not much cool about that character, especially coming off of Colonel Zoll, who was an actual fucking Nazi trying to whip the rest of Shocker into shape. And then we get this guy, and it's like, all right, I'll wait for the guy in the big beetle costume to show up, because I know he's next. Also, I am now past the point I was where I stopped watching last time, so we're in completely uncharted territory now. That should be interesting. But that's all I have to say this week. It's still fun. It's solid. It's it's early Showa era, so it's very formulaic. But I have opened quite a few toys this week. First off, let's talk about Lightning Collection Parantised. I am now nearly monster complete. I need only to get a hold of Pudgy Pig and Minotaur when he comes out. I currently have no designs on Pudgy Pig. I'm crossing my fingers he'll show up at a discount store at some point, because I don't want to pay full price for that figure, even though I very easily could. My vintage toy store has both the exclusive and the regular version of him right now, but like, they're asking full price, so no. However, Peralta said, I do really dig him. I don't like him quite as much as iGuy, because his accessories aren't as cool as iGuy, but he's probably my second favorite monster, just because, much like iGuy, or actually, he's probably my third favorite, because I forgot Snizzard existed for a second. Snizzard is definitely my favorite. iGuy second. This guy third. Because I really like how this guy looks in any pose. He can't get like super dynamic, but his articulation is fairly good. It all works. And he just has this really nice vibe where, more than any of the other ones I have at this point, he really does just look like a dude in a suit. And I kind of love that. He just like a big goofy fishman suit, and it's fun to pose him with fellas. And a fella I have been posing him with quite a bit is SH Figuarts Ultraman Z Original. I got like the Tamashi store exclusive best option version, which is literally just the same as the regular version, but in a special box. I don't know, it was the cheapest eBay auction I could find. And he's pretty good. I love all of Zet's designs, but honestly, the original, the base design, is probably my favorite, just for like how simple it is, but yet how distinct it is for an Ultra design. And the figure itself is pretty solid. It captures the design really well. However, I do have some articulation issues. The chest just doesn't have as much range as I would have expected, and he's got a bad case of Figuarts hips, where they can be kind of hard to navigate sometimes. But even worse, though, is the case of Figuarts wrist joints he has, where, like, I have never been a fan of Figuarts wrist joints because they are ball joints on really tiny half stems on big universal joint assemblies that whenever you swap them and you go to press a new hand on, the joint keeps trying to wiggle out of the way, and when you do actually get it in place and you start pushing it on there, you always have to apply more pressure than you think you need to, and it looks like the joint is about to like blast apart in your hand.
Yeah, I feel that as someone who owns like 2 SH Figuarts, and I've had that problem with my old Saber Figuarts that I've just basically thrown away because it's just so badly done.
Mm-hmm. Not a fan of that, but like the rest of the figure is solid enough that I don't hate it. Like, I can kind of just keep the base fists on there and have enough fun with him that it's not a big deal. He has a really expressive neck joint that I love. And he looks great when you take like photographs of him in the dark with some spotlights on him. And the interchangeable color timer is neat. I don't know if I'm going to use it a whole lot, though, because you just kind of want them in the base look. There's only like very specific shots you can do with a red color timer. But that is all the figures I got. I did, however, get a roleplay toy in, and I've been dragging my feet on opening a lot of the figures I've been getting lately, but roleplay toys, I kind of just love to whip them out and start messing with them because, they don't require as much thought into how you play with them. You can kind of just absent-mindedly make them do things. So I got the DX Neo Deca Driver, the original release from back during Geo's airing, and it's pretty good. It's essentially the super best decade driver, but with the updated paint scheme and new sounds put into it. It has because the original DX and the original Super Best Deca driver had like these very shortened transformation sounds for all the riders. This has the full transformation sounds for all the original Heisei riders, as well as now having the final form ride cards included. Because before you only got the base transformation cards and a final attack ride for Decade, and then you'd have to buy the Decade figure line to get the final form ride cards. And then you also get final form or transformation cards and final attack ride cards for everybody and the additional post-decade Heisei riders. And they're all pretty good. I've run through all the sounds at least once now, and it's really fun. I've always liked the design of the Deca driver. I like the kind of clicky nature of how it opens and closes, and the sounds are really solid, and it's just a good sampler platter of all the Heisei riders. If you don't have the money or the space to get all their roleplay toys, which I really don't these days. So having just gotten rid of a bunch of roleplay stuff over the last 6 months, this felt like a nice sort of bandage on that of like, okay, I would like to collect all the Wizard roleplay toys at some point, but for now, I'm happy just having this and having access to like a base Wizard sound and all the other Heisei Rider sounds. And maybe one day I'll buy like a Reiwa line of doodads or like a classic Showa belt. I would not mind having the original Typhoon or the black Henshin belt, but for now, this is the only Henshin belt I really need, and it does me really good. The only issue I have with it is just purely I bought it used, and so some of the cards were pretty warped, and they are plastic cards instead of cardboard, so it's kind of hard to unwarp them. And there was a little bit of paint wear on like one of the little light crystals on the side handles. But other than that, pretty good pickup, and overall, pretty good bunch of stuff, I'd say.
Yeah, minus Regulus.
Yeah, it's oh boy. But I think that is everything. Unless there's some surprise thing you didn't tell me about, Buster.
The only surprise thing I got is to subscribe to my YouTube channel.
All right, tell them where to do that.
Yeah, the Buster Corp channel. I do lots of video reviews. I want to get a Toku video out this week. Not sure if I will, but I'm gonna try my best. But I have a bunch of other videos, both Toku and non-Toku, on the channel. Also at Twitter at BusterBoy3, where you can just see me bullshitting about things and making theories about Geats and King-Ohger and other things I like. So
Ninja Turtles?
There hasn't been much Ninja. I'm just waiting for Mutant Mayhem.
Yeah. Oh man. I've been eyeballing that new NECA Lawson Ninja Turtles 4-pack real hard. That looks really cool. But
yeah. Where do people support you so you can buy that?
Yeah. Hey, everybody. You can check out my YouTube videos because they're things I am pretty proud of. Over on youtube.com at The Vacuuminator. I just did a comic video. I've got another comic video coming out next week, but we might have a tokusatsu video coming up at the end of the month, so maybe go over there, subscribe, and get excited for that. Also, follow me on TikTok, where I post clips of my older videos. That's at @_Vacuuminator. I also have an Instagram where I post my action figure photography every day. That is at @_Vacuuminator as well. But I also have a Twitter and a Tumblr where everything gets collated, as well as like random thoughts and first reactions to stuff. That's at The Vacuuminator on Twitter and thevacuuminator.tumblr.com on Tumblr. But folks, that's going to do it for this week in Tokusatsu. Thanks for hanging out with us. We'll catch you back here next week for whatever happens that week in Tokusatsu.